Is it good morning now? Okay, it's good afternoon. I can't hear. It's so far. It's like I'm on my sneer, and you are waiting for Moses to come back. I can't hear you. Can you hear me? Yes. Okay. Thank you so much. I will make it very brief. I want to stand on the existing protocol so that we can minimize the time. We can save the time. With special appreciation to the executive of REDAN, both at the national and the local level, for the organizer who deemed me fit for this role. And I just want to, am I controlling it? There's not, oh, it's going to be tough. Okay, because I was thinking that the representative of the commissioner, thank you so much for that goodwill message. Thank you so much. And for those of us that were here, I would have loved that you started with us and you listened to the presentation of Reverend Oguniro. That was a very powerful presentation. You see, Yoruba is so rich. Yoruba language, we have a language that says, we have a saying that ogun agbo tẹ́lẹ̀ kì í parọ́ ṣùgbọ́n arọ tó bá gbọ́n ni. Reaping the failure of the past, and it is the responsibility of our generation to really clean the mess that we have created. As of today, go to the next slide. As of today, it's on record, this World Bank report, that half of South African cities dwellers, they are in slum. They are in slum. 60% of Lagos is slum. There's no doubt about that. And this is wastage. This is not sustainable. All this sustainable practice, thermal control, use of this, use of gas, not doing forestation, cooking with coals and all the rest. There is no way you could practice this in this environment. And they constitute the majority of the urban dwellers. Go to the next. Just keep on this Lagos, this Nigeria slum. We can clean it. Look, stop at that slide. We can clean it. This notorious Oluwole, I'll keep on shouting, I'll keep on celebrating it until we embrace it. Oluwole, 175 families. That's an island of poverty within that place. A young man, Richard Lewis, through PPP with Lagos State, was able to clean it. This is real estate development. The fact that we have slum, we don't need to focus on Ekpe, Korodu, Asese. There are a lot of business opportunity in slum regeneration. The young man worked with this family, Oluwole family, to do go to the next slide, to do this regeneration program that was done. He resettled those 175 families at Shasha, and he rebuilt this place with PPP with Lagos State. So when we talk of real estate development, let us focus attention, not traveling far. There are a lot of opportunities in Oworoshoki. There are a lot of opportunities in Shomolu. There are a lot of opportunities. And I know many of our members today, they don't go to Ekpe. All they were doing, acquiring land at Shomolu, acquiring 10, 8 plus, getting assets, coming up. I went to Lut yesterday. The street that I was about 2 years ago, I passed through that street, and I found out that a lot of small bungalows there have turned to almost 4-story buildings. These are what real estate are doing. Working with the owners of those people, bringing those buildings together, and now developing beautiful and sustainable projects on this slum. So it's an area that I am imploring us as developers to really focus on, because we are talking about reversing this wastage. Next slide, next slide, next slide, next slide. Continue, continue. This is Oluwole. What about our ferry? A lot of wastage. Before, when coming from school, Abeokuta then, it's when you get to Mowe, you know that, oh, you are getting nearer to Lagos. Then you get to Ibafu, you just see about 10 or 5 houses. But today, look at the next slide. What was once green? Next slide, please. What was once green? This is Isheri Ibafu. 2007, 2011, 2015, 2022. A place that was green, beautiful, has been turned to a big modern slum. Under the wash of Ogun State government and planning failure in this country. And planning failure in this country. Continue. Curbing urbanization of Mowe, but continue. There is no time to list to the slide. Strategy for reversing, waste hierarchy. I just want to emphasize this, that waste hierarchy, because we are developing estates. Prevent waste from being created in the first place. In our design, in our construction, the wastage starts from the construction site. And people always, from theory, we always say that waste is 10% of construction costs. So if we can reduce waste to 1%, then we'll be saving 9%. And that's good. That's good. And when we get to our construction site, you can really see wastage. You can really see wastage. Implement design for minimal waste. Use modular construction, fabrication, and standardize to reduce costs. All these things comes in standard. We are talking of ceilings that are coming in probably 600, ties coming in 600, 400, 600. And we are designing something that is, we end at 15. No, you have already introduced cutting. By the time immediately you introduce cutting, wastage is inevitable. Accurate material estimation. Use building information model in order to order only what you need. Procurement planning, buy materials in bulk, and schedule delivery. Next slide. A lot of demolition. Reverend Ogino mentioned to that. A lot of demolition going across the country. This is wastage. Continue. Lagos, go to that side. Go to that slide. Lagos government demolishes part of Aruboboje Mende Estate. It was on record that in 2023 alone, between 2023 and 2024, 22,000 houses were demolished in Abuja area. And go for the record of the new houses that were built. A nation that is talking of housing deficit and demolished 222,000 houses, where 10,000 were not built. So, next slide. Use materials again without reprocessing. I want to speak about deconstruction instead of demolition. And that's the linkage between what Reverend Green said and what I'm saying now. In England today, before you can have your plan approved, you must meet 50%. You must prove that you have 50% deconstruction. You meet their 50% deconstruction standard. That is, nobody's in UK, in developed countries today, nobody is talking of demolition. When you are building, you're already building what you can deconstruct, what you can just remove without destroying. And that's the last slide that Reverend Oguniro showed us. that once you are building, your choice of material, your source of construction method will give you the opportunity that if government say that carry your load, you lose just 50%. So our design approach must favor disassembling, so that we can't afford to be doing solid that you have no choice than to demolish. We have to embrace policies that will allow for the construction, because a lot of money is wasted. On-site reuse, use excavated soil or concrete rubble for field back or landscaping, storage and resale. Select reusable material, design using bolted joints instead of welded to allow disassembly. We just must embrace it. We must embrace it, so that because these materials, you can use them for 200 years. Victoria houses in UK are still standing, and when they say a house is a Victoria house, it's been built about 200 years ago. The first day I got to London Bridge, there is a building, number 2 London Bridge. You see, this house was erected 1447, 4-story building. So that's the power and the strength of the materials we are using. So we must embrace policy that allow for disassembly, so that at the expiration of the lifetime of that building, which is 75 years, we are not going to do demolition. We'll still be able to use about 60% of the material for the new building that we are bringing on board. The next slide, please. Sort waste on site. Use label bins. Separate metals, wood, plastic, and concrete. Partner recycler. So as far as recycling content product use, I love to round up with this. Probably have just 1 or 2 slides left. I lived in a place. We lived in Croydon for some time. Then we moved to one place. Majorly white people were there. So I think then we cut our shrubs. We trim our shrubs. The first time we did that, and we cut the grasses. There was always a nylon where you put it. You can't put books with food. You see segregation in UK. Recycling is possible because you don't pack grass with paper. That's what we are trying to do in university now, but we struggle with it every day. So we put the grasses inside that nylon. So on Friday, they usually come to carry our waste. They carry the waste. They didn't carry the grass. Then I look at the neighbor that we cut it at the same time. I didn't see his own grass. I told my wife, I said, we are facing racism. So these people they didn't carry our grass because we are black. We said, probably they forgot. The following week they came. They didn't carry it again. Then we were forced to ask our neighbor, why are these people? He said, no, they will never carry grass. There is a place where you carry your grass to. And when we got to that place, there are sections for plastic, there are sections for wood, there are sections for iron. There are a lot of money in this existing building, but we demolish them, like Reverend Greenon says. We only invite Baba Mulika because we don't see any value in them. But I remember when Julius Berger was rebuilding Lagos-Ibadan Express Road, as they were removing the surface, and we were wondering, where were these things? They were recycling them. They bring them back to reuse them. And that should be the spirit in every construction site. That all these things we demolish in our site, that we dismantle in our site, they are raw materials for future construction, for existing construction. The next slide, please. I think that's it. Yes, non-recyclable timber and packaging partner with energy recovery facilities. Use waste to produce heat and electricity. There are nations that I think I've passed that slide. Go to the next slide. Strict landfill criteria, these are the state level. There are nations now, like Sweden or Switzerland. In Switzerland, is zero waste. There is nothing that is waste. Every waste is a raw material for another sector. So they've gotten to zero waste level. Nothing is regarded as waste. So you don't need to be begging anyone, because whatever you bring out of your house has a value. And until we embrace this, penalty clause, including waste performance requirement for subcontractors in the agreement, these are areas that we are going to. Next slide, if that is not. Thank you so much for listening to this presentation. I believe that we will do things having the future in mind, that whatever we are doing today, we are only serving a coming generation, a generation that will insist on the best practice. Thank you. God bless you.